How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and I just finished doing my difficulty 10 run, so I wanted to give you my impressions as far as what I think about the Danger Room, changes that they might need to make in the future. So as you can see, based on the rewards, I'm currently ranked 200. I was about 180 something. The top end has so many points though that they end up getting on here. It's actually pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun. I tried doing a flat run difficulty 10 without any mods and it didn't go too well. I couldn't beat the first elite combat mission, so I decided to go back to difficulty 9. No X coins that I actually had during it. I made it about halfway through the run. I end up wiping, then I had 50 points to really play with on here, which you're going to see later on in the video. And I started going through it. The mods that we got on there are really fun. The initial impressions as far as mods goes, there was a Doom's Boom, which was very impactful. That one there makes it to where if you end up getting pushed below 50% health, you get 50% turn meter increase, get +1 to your ability energy, basically Doom's passive. Another one is getting bleed on your enemy on spawn and they don't get any immunity on there, was incredibly impactful to where the Super Scrolls just bled out right off the bat. So I definitely recommend getting that one and just playing into kind of doing your one team. So your vigilante team, Thunderbolts team. I was doing a vigilante team on difficulty 9 and 10 and it made it very easy. I had to do a couple resets on one of the nodes, which you're gonna end up seeing on there. Now as far as the mods go, I do want to kind of go through these. The extra damage on here on the 5 and the 10 is definitely something I'd work towards. So trying to get to like maybe 20 of the X coins right off the bat, so you know that extra damage is going to be very impactful. I'm going to end up doing a Thunderbolts run later on in the future. I really want to know how the Thunderbolts could end up doing on here. Making it to where Iron Patriot has the Thunderbolt tag, or Cyclops getting the Starjammer, Star-Lord getting the Starjammer tag as well. I want to see how that ends up going. The issue is my characters aren't that big for Star-Lord and Cyclops, so I'm gonna have to use the Renta character just to kind of see how that ends up going. Now, as far as the Renta character goes, it really depends on the difficulty that you have it set to, or how powerful this character is going to end up being. With difficulty 10, if we end up doing the start run on here, you can kind of see that these are going to be gear tier 19 characters on here. Now, if we end up doing something like, let me just grab 2 characters, and if we end up going to start a new run on here, and we end up dropping the difficulty down to, say, difficulty 5, start run, we click enter, and you're going to see that these are lower difficulty. So depending on what you start out with for your difficulty, is going to be the strength of the characters that you're going to end up getting for those rented characters. You're gonna have 5 of those tokens are gonna reset daily, they said. So kind of be careful on when you use those rental characters to see if it's actually worth it. Because I don't recommend building up your Star-Lord or your Cyclops just for this game mode. Do the rental characters for that. Now, as far as the other ones we have, when you get to the 100 coins, on spawn, 1 ability energy for Vigilante is gonna be incredibly useful for you. And then here you can get some extra damage, 30%, armor, resistance, focus, 50%. Until all allies have taken a turn, lower all enemies' focus by 5,000%, damage by 50%. That's 300 of these. So that's a lot of runs. And then the very bottom one, raid bonuses are active. So obviously those are going to be very impactful when you start really pushing on the leaderboard on there. The rewards for the leaderboard, it's all cosmetic, minus these XLs. The XLs are important because of the event that we currently have going on, where if we go to milestones, the Rite of the Allfather, your points on here is going to be, where is it? Earn Thunderbolt's Diamond. So it's not this event. I couldn't have sworn it was the Odin event to where you really get those XLs for what it's used for. Maybe it's the Command Center then. So if we go to the Command Center, the Harbinger, where are you? Yeah, so it's this event right here. So it's going to be the Command Center for the Harbinger week 3. So let's go ahead and grab those. So you can see I already have the 250 on here from doing a difficulty 9, about half, difficulty 10. So this is basically done for me. And that kind of got me all of these intel currency, some crimson and everything. But overall, the Danger Room was really fun. Having it to where it lasts for 13 days, I think that's fine. It gives plenty of people an opportunity to go in, really experience the Danger Room. And I'm really excited for how they can kind of evolve it. I'm hoping they kind of swap out the boss node, maybe throw like a Nimrod in there. There's the Sentinels in there. Go more towards the X-Men theme. So like Sentinels, Magneto can be a boss on there, Nimrod, stuff like that, to really play into the theme of what the X-Men would face in the Danger Room. But let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoy the gameplay footage. It's going to be unedited, so I can just get it out there for you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have one for the rest of the day. How's it going, everybody? This Seer here. We are doing our Danger Room run, and I did a couple runs doing the difficulty 10, and it's actually pretty challenging content. So we're going to end up doing this smart instead of just kind of running into a wall head first. We're going to do difficulty 9. We're going to try to do as many elite combats as we can to farm up these gold tokens. That's going to allow us to get some of these stats on here to really buff us up to make the following runs much easier. As far as the rewards goes, if you go to the milestone, if you end up doing difficulty 10, you're able to get the costume for Taskmaster and 12 of these armory 20 orbs, which is great. Now these canisters are the XLs, which are used for the Odin event currently right now for the diamonds. If you do difficulty 9 and kill that boss, you're going to get a 3 diamond Taskmaster, which is great, and some intel currency as well. As far as the ranking goes, it's all cosmetic. It's just these profile borders and these XLs, which again is used for the Odin diamonds. So we're gonna end up doing our difficulty 9, no mods at the start. Let's go ahead and hit start run. And as far as the starting team, I actually like to use Daredevil Modern and Silver Sable. This is a great combination. I'm gonna lean into the Vigilante full team just because they're really good as far as what they can provide in this run. Now, as far as the enemies, they're going to scale with you as well as the characters that you'll end up renting out. So if you end up doing like difficulty 10 that is checking out, you're going to get G19 characters for the renting portion. So let's go ahead and start this run. If you're not aware, you are to click and drag these characters so you can really separate them and not have to worry about any chain or rebounds, primary and adjacent hits, kind of wiping your team out. So let's go ahead. We're going to end up doing basics on the start node. It's not worth using your abilities. They just kind of fall over dead once you hit them. All right, let's go ahead and basic into Voodoo over here. And let's take him out. There's a flip. There we go. All right, there we go. First node down, really easy. It's just kind of get your foot wet. And it gives you basically a free claim that you can use for a mod to kind of help your team out. So let's go ahead and hit claim. So on ally taunt, which is going to be Daredevil Modern, that character gains 3 counter. Allies with taunt have 50% damage. Pretty good. On spawn, apply offense down to all enemies. That's pretty powerful. Or you can get buried. Let's go for the offense down. All right, next node we have some Infinity Watch members over here. And again, I'm going to try to conserve most of my good abilities for the following node. So as you can see, they got that offense down. That's going to really protect us right off the bat. And we already spawned with defense up and immunity on here, so that's great. All right, let's go ahead and basic. That should kill the bishop right there. And we got the ability block over on Daredevil Modern. Now we got slow on us. All right, let's go ahead, take out this cable quick. Or you can just survive it, that's fine. All right. I'm going to do a basic again into cable. I'm surviving pretty well, and this is going to allow me to save some of my abilities for that next node. Now we have the Infinity Watch members to take out. I will end up doing the special with Silver Sable. She'll kind of get some abilities back. And that will lighten the load for us. All right, let's go ahead and basic into Phyla. All right, she should bleed out. There we go. And I want to take out this Adam Warlock if I can. That's going to get some drain. Or not. There we go. All right, so that should... Oh, no bleeds on him. Now let's get 1 life off of you. All right, so that should kill him. He's going to bleed out. Let's go over here. All right, so there goes 1 life off of her. That's basic here. And those evades are annoying. All right, let's try to take out Gamora now. There she goes. All right, so there's 1 kill on Nebula. All right, there we go. And we have our abilities prepped for the next node. I probably could have used those lower cost abilities like Daredevil Modern Special, Silver Sable Special. I just want to make sure I was prepped for that following node. All right, claim. We got regen. We got offense up. Offense up is great. Let's do that one. All right, so now we have a care package or regular combat. We're going to do the care package. Hopefully we can get Vigilante. We do not. So let's go with Taskmaster on this one. All right, Elite Combat. This is what we're here for. We want to try to farm these ones. We have Alpha Flight. We have Cabal. And we have Scarlet Witch Zombie. I'm going to end up putting Daredevil Modern in the middle. They like to target the middle on here. Let's go ahead and keep you a Raider. Fortifier for protection. Raider. And the goal is to at least clear this node. That way, if we end up wiping on the following node, we have these points to use as mods on the start. So luckily, they're spawning in with this offense down. Let's try to take out Leader if we can. All right, there goes Namor. Pretty good damage right off the bat. I want to take out Zombie Scarlet Witch, where basic take... Well, we did take the buffs, but that's probably war only. And let's go ahead and special. Get those flips and a taunt on us. I want to ult here. I want to get some extra damage on that leader on that one. Let's special try to flip. And he has immunity. Let's take his buffs off. Wolverine should bleed out. There we go. All right, so this is going to be 1 elite combat done. That's going to give some nice bonuses on the following run. There we go. And there it is. We got 10 of these gold X coins right there. So that's going to allow us to get either a 10 cost or 2 5s on the difficulty 10. Now, you don't want to hit new run. You actually want to end up wiping on that if you want to restart. Allies cannot gain trauma. We're doing Vigilante. We're going to be getting that anyways. When an enemy drops below 25% health, build a speed bar. Let's do that. All right, so we have a combat, or we can do care package. Let's grab this care package. On Vigilante ally attack, if the target has defense down, reduce the speed bar by 5%. For Starjammers or Trauma, let's do the Vigilante attack. And here's another elite combat. Let's roll the dice. We got Jean, we got a 3-piece Undying, and Iron Patriot. All right, so Jean going first. That's fine. We got a basic there into the zombie Juggernaut. Let's ult here. Big damage. Let's see if we can take out the zombie Scarlet Witch. And she got her turn, which means that the zombie Juggernaut came back. Now there's the Safeguard. Taskmaster's getting pretty messed up. Ability block in Silver Sable. Let's go ahead and special. That's going to do a rebound. There goes Jean. Going into Daredevil, that's probably the best choice. Let's try to take out that zombie Scarlet Witch again. All right, that's going to flip. There we go. We don't have bleeds. He's a summon. Let's go into zombie Iron Man. All right, there goes zombie Iron Man. All right, so Taskmaster's hurt, but that's fine. Vigilante's looking good. And there's 10 more of those gold X coins. That's great, racking up those for the next run. All right, claim. We get on spawn. Each ally applies bleed to all enemies. That's great. And no immunity. When an ally drops below 50% health, generate an ability energy for that character. Fill speed bar. I want this bleeds. That's fantastic. Let's go into this care package now. So you can kind of see that you can kind of pick your own path. Let's go with this one. Starjammer team on spawn. Fill speed bar or Starjammers by 3%. Doom's Boom. When an ally drops below 50% health, generate 1 ability energy for that character. Fill speed bar. On turn, clear negative effects. That's not bad. I'm feeling the Doom's Boom. That sounds pretty cool. All right, another elite combat. So we got APOC, Night Stalkers. We're probably going to wipe on this one, but I'll kind of show you what we'll do after this if we do end up wiping. All right, so there you can see all the bleeds coming in. No immunity. Rewind into Daredevil Modern hurts. All right, so we lost Taskmaster. That's fine. I want Silver Sable to go, and Silver Sable just died. I want to try this one more time. See if we can get a little bit extra luck to see what would happen if we actually get the ult off for Silver Sable. If we wipe on this one, I'm just going to let it go, and then we'll kind of jump into difficulty 10. Take a look at that with the mods that we end up collecting from it. All right, so right off the bat, rewind there. That's fine. All right, Silver Sable. Let's go ahead and ult here. Big damage. Let's go into APOC and ult with Daredevil Modern. All right, so APOC's killed off. Let's go Man-Thing and special so we kill the Lady Deathstrike. Let's go into Blade and special. Let's take out the Blade. Okay, so looks like we're going to clear this one. Perfect. So we did lose Taskmaster. I honestly don't care. That's not a Vigilante character. And this is going to get us more points that we could end up using, because that's 3 of the elite combats that we end up completing now. All right, so for the claim on this one, we have, here's the thing. On attack, the target ally does not have ability block. It's a counterattack. I actually really like this. This is going to be very important if we end up making it to the boss node, which is a shop right here. Oh, sweet. The boss node You need those counter attacks. You really do. Rocket or Songbird. So here's the thing. This Cyclops of mine is not big. This one is. I want to see the Cyclops on here. For the cards, on spawn, allies gain defense up in Safeguard. Vigilante ally crit apply 3 bleed. Let's grab this one. Enemies cannot gain speed bar from abilities. Interesting. Let's grab that one too. I'm going to save these coins in case we get another care package so we can purchase another character. All right, let's throw Cyclops in. Taskmaster is back. He got killed. That's weird. Let's go ahead and heal him. Well, we don't have any heals. Let's throw you here. Throw you here. Okay, so that's just a bug. He actually doesn't have any health. So let's do this. I'm curious what mods they actually have for Cyclops during this. Because he kind of hinted that he actually has some cool things. All right, so all the bleeds, that's great. Ghost Rider Robbie going into our Silver Sable. All right, let's basic here into Zombie Juggernaut. Let's go for the Robbie and Special. We got a taunt on Black Cat now. Rewind and Cyclops. Well, Cyclops is getting tunneled down. All right, let's go ahead and ult. Does she have extra accuracy? I think Silver Sable does. Stats. Accuracy. No, she doesn't. So that's going to miss. Special is going to miss. Well, basic then. Stun over here. Let's try this one more time. If this doesn't work, we'll just wipe and we'll start the next run. All right, let's go in. I don't think, well, I was about to say, I don't think we want to use the special from Cyclops to get the taunt out there. All right, let's basic here into Zombie Juggernaut. I want to go into Robbie and basic. Can I kill him with the rebound? No, I didn't. Blind and Silver Sable, that's going to be a loss. We'll let this kind of wipe us. And let's go throw this on auto, get the wipe done, and then we'll take a look to see what mods we want to end up purchasing. Oh, we actually surviving. Do we get the ult for Silver Sable? If we do, we got a chance. Ult. That's not trash. Okay, we might survive this. Let's take out the Lady Deathstrike. Oh, that ult's really hurt. All right, basic here. That's a flip. Yeah, we cleared this one. I was not expecting that one. All right, claim. We have Vigilante, ally block, gain offense up. On ally ultimate, clone the enemy with the highest damage. Let's do that. That's fun. Care package. Electro, really? You're gonna give me Electro? Okay. Elite combat. Throw Elektra in here. Cyclops is out. Let's throw Daredevil Modern here. Yeah, let's do Striker because we have that Raider. All right, all the bleeds are popping out there. No immunity. Gore's going. All right, another Gore is taking their turn. So there's 2 Gores. That hurts. All right, let's go ahead and special here. APOC ult. Who are you Falcon punching now? Let's ult here. So we're stuck on the Gladiator. Luckily, they don't get the turn meter due to the mod that we grabbed. And the ult that we used got us a Jean Grey. That's actually really cool. Let's take those buffs off of APOC. And I want to try to kill that APOC. Alright, there goes the Apocalypse. We don't have to worry about that Falcon Punch. Let's go into Cable. There he goes. Let's go Jean and Rebound. Let's special here. And we can burn that special. That's fantastic. Let's heal. We need to heal up that Elektra. All right, we got done with that one. That's another elite mission done. And the mod that we got on spawn for each non-hit monkey vigilante ally, clone 1 hit monkey. This one is really fun to use. All right, let's go for another elite combat. Roller dice. Mephisto, that is not good. These guys are dead. We can't even heal them up because we don't have any of that currency. This might be the end of the road. That Mephisto's gonna really kill us. Alright, there goes all the bleeds. If we can get an ult off, that would end up getting us a clone Mephisto. Alright, here's an ult. Do we get that Mephisto? Yes, we do. We got a Mephisto on our side. Let's go ahead and special. And basic here with Daredevil. Basic again. All that extra turn meter from the mods that we got is really cool. Here's an ult. That's going to get us another Mephisto. Or not. Let's go into Mephisto special. Get the striker shot. Let's do the empowered basic into him. Can we actually kill that Mephisto off? Alright, basic here. There goes Mephisto. Alright, let's ult here with Daredevil. And this is like surpassing my expectations. I thought I was going to wipe a long time ago. Let's go into that Loki and basic. It was Corvus. Now we just have the Mysterio clones. Doc Ock getting the retaliates. Let's basic. We can actually save our special from Daredevil, because I'm not worried about any of these threats now. And over here, that should kill you. Perfect. That's a really fun mod. All right, I think we're actually near the end. Let's see. Claim. Frenzy. On enemy turn, if that character has bleed, fill speed bar by 5% for all allies. No trauma. On turn, clear negative effects on self. This might come in handy right now. All right, we have a regular combat now. So because we don't have any hit monkeys, we're not able to take advantage of that buff. Let's go here and basic. Because of the one mod, we don't have to worry about Dr. Doom using the ultimate on us. Iron Patriot going. All right, let's ult here. That's going to give us an enemy. Or a clone. So we got an Iron Patriot now. Let's take out that Iron Patriot special. And Dorm end up reviving him. Alright, let's try again. Take out the Iron Patriot. There he goes. Another Namor going. We're about to lose our Electra. There goes Daredevil Modern. Alright, let's try one more time. Alright, this is a regular combat node too, not even an elite one. Let's go into Namor, because those turn meter rewinds. Alright, ability block there, and Silver Sable's not great. It was a flip. Or strip, I should say. Let's go Dorman Special. Striker shot into Dorm. We actually get a turn with Silver Sable to get an ult off. That'd be great. We're stuck here. We can't target that. Let's see if we can take out the Spider-Man. Nope, he dodged. All right, here comes an ult. Offense down, though. All right, go here and ult. And let's go ahead and ult into Doom. We kill Doom again. Special. All right, so we don't have to worry about Doom popping off. Let's take out that Namor with the special, because we killed him once. Slowly chipping away at him. Got a stun in Daredevil Modern. That is not good. And they're just tunneling Daredevil Modern down. All right, let's go special here. All right, there goes that Namor. Let's go Surfer. All right, look. Let's let this clear out. Then we're going to do a difficulty 10 and take a look at that with the mods that we end up picking up. That's weird. There we go. We got 50 of these X coins. As far as mods. All right, so we're starting the difficulty 10 right now. We have 50 of these X coins from the difficulty 9 that we end up doing. We can do allies gain 10% damage, so we'll throw that on for now. Star-Lord, we're not going to use him. Cyclops, we're not going to use him. Gain 20% damage is good. Now we have 30 points. We can get a 10% speed, 20% armor and resistance. Iron Patriot buff. He also gains a Thunderbolt tag. That's actually pretty cool. Cyclops gains a Star Jammer. Same with Star-Lord. Let's do the 10% speed. So that leaves us 5 more points. And yeah, let's go ahead and start run. See how this ends up going. All right, so again, we'll do the Daredevil Modern, Silver Sable. Weaver, we have Red Hulk and some minions. All right, so let's go ahead and do the basic first, save our abilities like last time. Let's go Red Hulk and basic. Oof, those really hurt. All right, let's go Namor and basic for rebound. All right, there we go. All right, claim. We have 20% resist, 20% damage. That's going to be really good on top of the other damage. So we have a 50% damage buff right now. All right, Doctor Strange and some minions. All right, let's go into Strange and basic. All right, there goes Strange. Goes the other minion. All right, so crippling wounds on enemy turn. If that character has bleed, get offense down. Defense up on spawn. We already get on spawn ally defense down to all enemies. Defense down on spawn as opposed to bleed looks like it's better. All right, we're going to do this care package and we get nothing great. Let's grab Ghost. All right, so we have Ghost in here. I was hoping for a Vigilante character. That's kind of the RNG that is the Danger Room. All right, let's go ahead and go for Nimrod and basic. All right, there goes Nimrod, and those defense downs really hurt them. All right, there we go. All right, for this claim, we get regen on spawn, offense down on spawn. Let's do that. Let's go for the other care package. Doom's Boom. This was fun. We did this last time. 50% armor and resistance I don't care about. On attack, the target does not have ability block, do a counter attack. At this point, I kind of want this, but this is fantastic later on in the nodes. Let's do the Doom's Boom. I kind of need that right now. And let's see if we can get this elite combat mission down. We have Hela, we have Void Knight, Strange. So we have 3 Hive Mind. This could be a tough one, especially with Silver Sable not at full health. But if they can get a push on like Daredevil Modern or Ghost, that's going to be great. Ability block into there. All right, let's go ahead and burn this ult. There goes Hela. All right, let's go ahead and special ult here. Clear all native effects. That's going to clear for Ghost as well. We need to take care of this Doctor Strange, though. Otherwise, he's going to bring everybody back to life. All right, now we could end up doing this ultimate. Let's do that into Void Knight. There we go. All right, so that got us some more X coins. So when we end up wiping on this one or we complete it, that's going to go into our stash to get more mods on the following run. Claim. On spawn, each ally applies bleed to all enemies and no immunity. This is really good because we're already giving them defense down on spawn. Vigilante ally crit apply 3 bleed, or enemies cannot gain speed bar from abilities. I want this one because of the no immunity. That's going to pair really well with what we're doing. Care package, no trauma, star jammers, and there's the counterattack. I want this one. That's going to be really good for later on. Let's go for this elite mission. We have a super scroll. He's going to pop off really early on us. Due to all the negative effects they're getting and positive effects we're getting, he's going to really go at us. There's a rewind into Silver Sable. There's the counter attack. Let's special here. And let's go ahead and burn the special, see if we can kill him. There we go. So yeah, the super scrolls, they're huge problems in the danger room to where they could pop off, take about 6 turns before you go and just wipe you. That's why I wanted that counter attack mod that we end up picking up. On spawn, each non-hit monkey vigilante ally clone 1 hit monkey. I want to get a hit monkey, so I'm going to grab that, hoping I pick one up. Here's the shop. Let's see if there's a hit monkey in here. There is. We got our hit monkey. We got our Electra as well. So that's 4 pieces of our vigilante. So we're just missing Punisher now. For the cards, on spawn, defense up and safeguard. We already get the defense up. Get in safeguard and everybody. Let's do that. Now we have safeguard on spawn too. So here we have leader, we have Green Goblin Classic, Magneto, we have 1 Eternal member. So this is just a hodgepodge of characters. Let's go here, let's go here. And this is going to be the fun part. So these Barrel of Monkey mod is one of my favorites that we actually have. So right here, they get the defense down, offense down, all those bleeds. And now look at all the hit monkeys we're getting. We're getting 2 extra hit monkeys, or 3, due to Daredevil Modern, Elektra, and Silver Sable. So we have 4 hit monkeys on the field. And there's all the counterattacks. Because they didn't have ability block, they hit us. We got to hit them back pretty hard. This is going to be one of the cloned ones, it looks like. Let's get a stun into leader. Now let's go into Green Goblin Classic and Basic here. Let's get a stun into that Green Goblin Classic, because I should have stunned him off the bat. Let's get a stun into Cersei. And you can see the ability energy we're getting too from all this. Let's go into leader and basic. And that Archangel just bled out. Let's get a stun here into Shatterstar. And yeah, super easy now. Perfect. All right, claim. Let's do on spawn. We get barrier because these are thunderbolts, which we're not grabbing. Let's grab this care package. No Punisher. That's unfortunate. Let's just grab Lilandra. Let's grab this Elite Combat. So there is a Super Scroll in here. We're going to be leaning hard into those counter attacks that we're getting. I like Ghost in here over Lilandra right now. Alright, so there's all those nade effects. That's going to really pop off the Super Scroll. We do have the taunt already on Daredevil Modern. And that Super Scroll just bled out. That is hilarious. Alright, let's go ahead, get a stun into Forge. Let's get a stun into Mockingbird. Let's go into Namor and Basic. And let's go ahead and ult into Sunspot. And let's go into Namor. This is too funny. All right, let's go into Vision. Yep, that was easy. All right. And there's more of the gold X coins. So once we finish this run, we're going to have a lot of coins to use on these mods. All right, so Thunderbolts, I don't care about this. However, they're going to give offense up and fill speed bar. On turn, clear negative effects. On enemy turn, if that character has bleed, fill speed bar. They get a lot of bleed on spawn. Let's go into Frenzy, and that's going to give us some turn meter. Funny enough, I don't care about the care package. We're going to go into this Elite Combat now because we have a really good team that we just built up. It looks like there's a Super Scroll on this node. So same thing, he's going to have the no immunity, all those bleeds, defense down, offense down. Let's see if he bleeds on spawn. That's going to be really funny if he does. So there's going to be 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because of the hit monkeys, they just have so many bleeds out there. I believe it's a hit monkeys that's counting that as well for this clones. There's a stun there. Let's get a stun into... Actually, that's an ult from Silver Sable. Yep, they're dead. All right. All right, claim. When an enemy drops below 25% health, fill the speed bar. Or Vigilante, if the target has defense down, reduce the speed bar. I kind of want to go for this. Because those bleeds are going to drop them low on health. Right now we are at 14 out of 20. I just noticed this up here. So we have about 5 nodes left. We have Undying with APOC. This is going to be pretty amusing as well. The APOC's not going to have immunity. He's going to have all his negative effects. The bleeds. He's going to get wrecked pretty quick. All right, so there we go. Let's go ahead and ult into Zombie Juggernaut. there's all those counter attacks because he doesn't have the ability blocks, that one mod that we got, but special with Silver Sable. And I want to go into the APOC. Let's ult here. And basic into him. All right, there we go. APOC's dead. Now I'm not even worried about this node anymore. Let's basic here. Let's go ahead and basic. Basic. We're just kind of feeding into the hella healing up. We need to get... There we go. This should hit through stealth. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and ult here. All right, there we go. That got rid of her. Yeah, that stealth with Hell in the Gregs is just annoying. All right, claim energy vampire. Allies gain ability energy when attacking targets with bleed. They spawn with all that bleed. Damage for each. Gain 20 plus 20% damage for each enemy with bleed. So we need to get a lot of damage increase or ability energy. Honestly, I'm not worried much about the ability energy because of all the hit monkeys. Let's go for this. All right, so we have a combat we're going to be doing. There's a super scroll. All right, so we have that Thanos endgame. Super scroll just bled out. Let's ult here into Thanos endgame. And yeah, super easy. All right, Vigilante attack. If the target has defense down, reduce the speed bar. Spawn in with immunity, which we already do, or 20% resistance. Let's do the turn meter rewind. All right, this one here has a Mephisto. I'm honestly not worried about this one. Oddly enough, I think we're gonna fly through this one as well. So we do have a Thanos endgame, we have Gore, we have Ultimus, and right there, the Mephisto did his pact. And then because that hit all of us with the exhaust, we got the counterattacks into him. Let's go here into Thanos endgame. There's a push. That did kill Elektra. Let's try that one more time. Let's try not hitting Thanos endgame and go into that Ultimus instead. Or let's go ahead and throw Lilandra in, see what she can provide for us. Because if we can get that ult off, that's a lot of hits with the ultimate. Alright, so there's all the bleeds, offense down, defense down. Here comes the counterattacks going into Mephisto. 2 death proofs. Alright, let's go into Ultimus and basic here. More counterattacks going in. Almost got him. Let's go ahead and ult here. There's the push for Thanos. Alright, let's basic here. Alright, let's ult. That should hopefully take care of the Mephisto. Still alive. Let's go ahead and ult. Alright, Gore's using his ultimate. And that's the Doom Boom. So we just got some ability energy that should also give us that turn meter. So we should be getting a huge push. Alright, let's ult here. Alright, there goes Mephisto. Let's special with Hit Monkey. Ooh, Ultimates just kind of killed us right there. So do we want Ghost for the ultimate? Let's go back to Ghost on this one. All right, so there's the defense down, offense down, all the bleeds, counterattacks coming in. All right, let's go into Ultimates and Basic. All right, let's go ahead and ult here with Hit Monkey. I think I want to Basic maybe and save the abilities because I'm not going to be able to kill him. He's going to heal back up. Slow defense down, offense down. Offense down isn't bad, but he doesn't have trauma. All right, and there goes Ghost. All right, let's ult here. Striker shot into Ultimus. Special striker shot. All right, special with Hit Monkey. I need Silver Sable to take that ultimate turn. And she doesn't have the ability energy for it. All right, there goes Ultimus. All right, so it looks like Lilandra might have been better just due to the speed, maybe. Let's make her a raider as well. All right, so there's all the bleeds doing work again. Counterattacks coming into play. Let's go into Gore instead of Ultimus. All right, let's ult here. All right, so that's going to end up pushing. Let's go back into Gore and Basic. Ult here. That should hopefully kill Mephisto. All right, ult into Gore. We need to get him killed off. All right, special. All right, so that should kill Gore off. There he goes. All right, let's get a stun into Thanos. All right, he's stunned. Let's go into Ultimus, Striker Shot. All right, so finally got through that one. That was a tough node. A lot more difficult than I was expecting. There we go. Yeah, the taunt going into Thanos endgame from the Mephisto, making it to where we have to target him and push him, definitely made it different. More resistance, on spawn gain regen, or counterattack. Let's go for the counterattack. Here's a Super Scroll. We're gonna swap Lilandra out for Ghost now. I did debate about going for the regen so we can heal back up on this one. However, if the Super Scroll ends up surviving through the bleeds, the counterattacks should end up finishing the Super Scroll, and he just bled out like usual. Let's go into this guy. And let's basic into that one. All right, basic over here. All right, so the Morgan should get killed off. Here's another basic. All right, there we go. That Silver Sable needs a heal up, so I might end up burning an ability for Daredevil on the next node, so we need to heal up that Silver Sable. All right, Thunderbolts, on spawn, regen for 3. On crit, apply bleed. Let's do the regen now. And here's a shop. Can we get Punisher in here? No Punisher. We can grab Taskmaster. Let's look at the cards. More resistance and armor. No trauma for us. So let's grab Taskmaster to be safe. And I think that's good. All right, so here's the boss node. This is the main combat one. And as you see, there's a Super Scroll on here. That is why I like getting those counterattacks. If the Super Scroll doesn't die from the bleeds, the counterattacks are going to kill him, so we don't have to really pop him off. That is going to be these Annihilators and those Sentinels. So we're going to keep what we have here, and let's go in. All right, so here comes all the bleeds. The Super Scroll is going to pop off due to the negative effects and the positive effects. So their Super Scroll did bleed out immediately, so that is fantastic. All right, so now let's go into the Gladiator right here. There's another Gladiator. Let's ult with this Hit Monkey. And let's go ahead and burn this ult. And let's go ahead and kill that Sentinel. All right, let's go ahead and special into that Thanos. There's a push. Let's get a stun into this Thanos. And we stun this Thanos now. The control that this Vigilante team has is amazing too. Let's take that one out. Let's extend these. All right, there's another push. And Striker Shot. There we go. Rewind. And there we go. That is a difficulty 10 clear. We started off with that 50 gold X coins to get us set up for those mods. Then we're able to kind of burn through this one. Let's take a look at the ranking that we currently have. So we got 104,100 points for the milestones. That gets us all of these rewards right here. That is 500 L4s, 5 million gold, 2250 of the X cells, 56,000 intel, a bunch of Armory 19, and there's some diamonds. As far as the ranking goes, for the leaderboard, we are sitting at 187. So we have a ways to go to really push on this leaderboard. The next run that I'm going to end up doing is going to end up being, let's go back into it, difficulty 10. We have 90 points to award ourselves. Just to kind of show you what I'd end up doing, I would do these the damage right here. More damage, more speed. On spawn, generate 1 ability energy is 100 points. We do not have enough points for that. We need 10 more. This is going to be one I'm going to look out for. I really want to lean into the Vigilante just because they're so good. Thunderbolt allies, 50% resistance armor. I may do a Thunderbolts run. So if we did a Thunderbolts run, I would end up popping that one on. This one. Maybe the Iron Patriot. I don't have enough points for the Iron Patriot. I'm 10 shy, so I'd probably end up doing this one. test out a Thunderbolts run. But let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in doing. Until next time, have one for the rest of the day.